Am I the asshole here for telling my mum she wasn't the better parent and that it sounded like heaven when she said she would never talk to me again? I, 23 female, and my mum, 49 female, have never really gotten along. Growing up, she treated me differently from my siblings. I'm the second oldest of 4, and she was always stricter and harsher with me. If I brought home anything less than an A, I got grounded. Even one B on an assignment meant trouble. My siblings never had that rule. On top of that, she always commented on my weight. She called me the fat kid, even though I was thin. She never said this to any of my siblings though, just me. As I got older, I realized she liked getting a reaction out of me. At first I defended myself, but when I stopped, she escalated and even got physical. On my 18th birthday, while I was still in high school, she kicked me out. By then, I was already staying with a friend most of the time, just to get away from her. Now, as an adult, I hardly speak to her. At family events, we might exchange a few words, but that's it. Recently, I was at my sister's place, and she had my mum on speakerphone. I was in the background talking to my brother, and he asked who I thought was nicer, mum or dad. Without thinking, I said dad. My dad wasn't great either. He wasn't around much and could be harsh, but compared to my mum, he is nicer. I also talked to him more, though not a ton. My mum overheard, asked what I said, and I repeated it. She snapped and said she'd never speak to me again. I said, "You're saying that like it's a bad thing. Honestly, it sounds like heaven." She didn't hang up on me, but she ended the call on my sister, who was the one talking to her. Later, my sister texted me that my mum took me off her car insurance. I never asked to be on it anyway. She added me without telling me because it lowered her own rate. One day she just said, "Hey, I put you on my plan." I didn't argue, but now I see that it was just another way to control me. She's done stuff like this before. When I was younger, she would put my phone on her plan and then shut it off when she got mad. This time was the same. After removing me, she told my sister, since she thinks her dad is the better parent, let him put her on his insurance. I never said better parent, I just said dad was nicer. She also told my sister she hoped my car got impounded and that she could turn it off through OnStar. My car is fully paid off, so I doubt that's even possible, but the fact she said it was ridiculous. I didn't need her insurance anyway. Before she added me, I was paying for my own. After she removed me, I just went back to mine. Meanwhile, my sister said that I was too harsh and should apologize because Mum has done so much for you. I asked what she meant and she said, she put a roof over your head and gave you food and clothes. That is literally the bare minimum of parenting. Now my mum has gone to my grandparents and aunts, saying I was disrespectful and need to apologize. From my perspective, I just answered my brother's question honestly. So Reddit, am I the asshole here? In the comments, AmbitiousBorder906 says, objectively, your mum is an asshole, but your sister is approaching asshole status with her comment. You didn't ask to be born. It is your parents' job to feed, clothe, and house you. You may want to remind your sister that your mum kicked you out at 18, and so her suggestion that a roof over your head merits an apology is wide off the mark. You are not the asshole, your family, meh, not so sure. Yeah, she didn't even provide the roof over his head. And the roof she did provide, OP made damn sure she wasn't under as much as humanly possible. Sis's argument is a joke from start to finish. Assuming OP is in the US, it's illegal in some states to kick out an 18-year-old if they're still in high school. Not the asshole at all. All you did was state your honest opinion about your mother, who is an asshole. Don't take their opinion for anything. You don't need the approval of a family that is in the pocket of an abuser. Sorry, OP. You should probably cut off contact from all of them. Not the asshole. Did your siblings ever notice the way she treated you compared to them? Did she badmouth you to them, convincing them that she was harder on you because you were bad? Or were they just afraid to end up being treated like you were, that they allowed themselves to be convinced? Suggest to sister and other siblings that it's time for them to set aside childlike thinking and embrace adult thinking. They shouldn't hold on to the thinking of their childhood and embrace mother's treatment of them and of you. Use their observation and sense of fairness to make up their minds. Is there something wrong with them that they don't realize that OP saying that was completely fair and acceptable? Did they live in a completely separate reality than what OP experienced? Because that's the only way you can really justify the sibling here being like, "You're an asshole for saying that, OP. What's wrong with you? You're a terrible person." How can you experience your sister being abused by your mother being her first and biggest hater, which I'm sure is not relatable at all? No one would bully their children or experience bullying from their parent, and then turn around and be like, "OP, you're an asshole for saying she wasn't the better parent. And you saying that it sounded like heaven when she said she'd never talk to you again? You're such a piece of shit. What's wrong with you? Our mother is a saint." If she was such a saint, OP wouldn't be saying it. Mother has earned the scorn. Dad may not be all that either, but at least Dad isn't as bad as she was. Dad didn't kick OP out at 18 while she was still in high school. Dad didn't continuously make threats to OP to cut off her connection and actually follow through with threats to cut her off the mobile plan when she was unhappy with her. No. Wow, what a saintly and morally upstanding woman OP's mother is. She didn't deserve any of that. No. Not the asshole here, OP. The hell is wrong with your sibling? And now, on to the update. Thank you all for your kind words. Honestly, reading your responses really helped me step back and validate my own perspective. Growing up with my mum has always been difficult. She's narcissistic, controlling, and manipulative. Her whole family has mostly tolerated it, which made me feel like I was constantly in the wrong, always backed into a corner. This situation helped me realize that I needed to step out of that mindset. I needed to see my experiences from my own perspective and recognize that my feelings and reactions are valid. For instance, talking to my grandmother about the situation confirmed what I already knew. My mum has always treated everyone poorly, and it's not just me. Most family members tolerate her behavior to avoid conflict, even my younger siblings. I've always been outspoken about her treatment of us, which has made me seem difficult, but in reality, I've just been honest about her behavior. As a result of this recent incident, I've decided to go low contact with my brother. He has been influenced by my mum and started calling and texting me with insults about things that I supposedly did wrong, things that only make sense from her perspective. I'll probably also go low contact with my sister because I've realized she shares information about my life with my mum even after I've asked her not to. I want to protect my boundaries and maintain some privacy. Regarding my mum, I will be moving to no contact. I was already pretty much no contact, but also I'll be including avoiding family functions where she is present and limit any other interactions, so that I can protect my mental health and break the cycle of manipulation I've experienced my whole life. Thank you again to everyone who offered support and advice. In the comments, Bushy Shrew says, "You can't begin to heal until you pluck the splinter out. If you leave it in, the wound just keeps festering. You've done the painful part and pulled the splinter out. Good for you. Now focus on yourself, heal, grieve if you need to, take care of yourself, and love yourself." Well done, OP. I love this analogy. I hope OP gets some therapy to help her heal. It looks like you've finally gotten rid of your family's guilt and chosen the world. I'm proud of you. Borders are not evil. They are self-defense. OP, I'm really sorry. You sound like a genuinely good person who was dealt a rotten family. You were not the asshole in the first post, you're not the asshole now, and personally, as a Reddit stranger, I admire your shiny spine and how you're comfortable standing up to your abuser. Thanks again, HungWhiteBoy25. Love your comments. Not the asshole here. My mother was also a narcissist. Very little was known about it. It took me forever to get out from under her influence. My mother used to call me and give me a hard time, as usual. If I said anything to her about it, she would say in a nasty, nasty tone, "Well, I'm never talking to you again." To which I finally one day responded, promises, promises, and hung up on her. It's a learning curve. It took practice. I continued to hang up on her until I went full no contact for 8 years. I did get her into an assisted living place when she no longer could live on her own. I really recommend getting into therapy. I also recommend looking up short videos by NARC, Narcissistic Abuse Awareness and Recovery Coalition. There's a lot of stuff online that's really helpful. The behaviors of family members and friends around a narcissist is also well documented. They call them flying monkeys. They will do anything to maintain their peace. It doesn't matter that you are right and the narcissist is the troublemaker. It's easier to put you down than to deal with the narcissist. It's a journey, progress, not perfection. Forgive yourself. It is not your fault. Yeah, it's sad that the reality is that all of your siblings and a lot of your family, by the sounds of it as well, are scared of her, and they would rather not rock the boat and maintain the status quo than back you up and stand united with you against her, against your mother. That's sad, but it's also the reality that so many people experience. It's quite a normal thing, and I don't like that. I don't like that so many people are so cowardly not to stand up to dickheads like the mum in this situation. What do you have to lose? What, she's gonna kick you out of her house? Good luck with that. Obviously, there's a lot she can do. A lot of people are scared for good reason. I'm aware of that. But to have the siblings be flying monkeys, to have your sister relay all of your personal information and details that you have told her not to share with mum, to mum, is heartbreaking. It can't be easy to cut off siblings or to go extremely low contact with them, but it's necessary for OP's mental health. It's upsetting, but it's the right thing to do, and I hope you keep putting yourself first and get more help for this, OP. Thank you for the story and thank you for the update. Our next post is by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for not wanting to cancel? I'm divorced, same old story, he cheated, I left, blah blah blah. We had the usual custody battle, and we signed a settlement that gives him a build-up of time as long as he meets certain criteria. He has a drinking problem and relapsed, but is now sober again. I always know when he's been drinking. I can tell. Also, the settlement gives me the right to breathalyze him at every exchange and anytime I have suspicions. I do breathalyze him. He has not failed at all. I have not suspected alcohol use at all. It's been a few months, but I know another relapse is always possible, and even likely, based on statistics. The settlement gives him one of my weekends. I made plans to meet someone for casual sex. I never do this, and I was already nervous about it. I've been talking to him for quite a while, and we planned this weekend 2 months ago. So it's not with a stranger, we are friends. I reminded my ex today that he was getting an extra weekend. I reminded him 2 weeks ago as well, and a month ago he had forgotten and said he had to work. But then he said his mum could babysit. Am I the asshole for not saying that I'll go ahead and keep them and cancelling my plans? I don't want to be one of those mums who put men over her kids, but this is the first weekend in over 7 years that I've not had to work and also not responsible for kids. And I really wanted this weekend to happen. I want to get away and have a little bit of fun. Just this one time. I don't have anyone blowing up my phone. I'm not bragging about this to all of my friends and family. My best friend knows. She has all of his information and knows where I'll be and is connected to my location just in case. And I've also video chatted with this person and checked for a criminal record and seen his ID. He is who he says he is. I'm just feeling incredibly guilty right now, and I'm about to cancel and call my ex and tell him that I'll keep the kids. Adding for clarity, I work every other weekend. This is literally the only time in the foreseeable future that I can do this. One more ad. He lives about 3.5 hours away from me, so we can't really just get together after work, and I'm not going to have some random guy in my house with my kids, so he can't just come to me. In the comments, not the asshole, as long as you're comfortable with grandma. You obviously care about your kids because you said you will cancel if you have to, as you don't want this guy around them. That's a good move. This can easily become a fun weekend at grandma's as long as it's a safe place to be. Take out the reason you don't want to cancel and ask yourself again, should you be able to have your scheduled time for yourself? Is it your responsibility to handle your ex's failure to plan? The great thing about divorce is that you are no longer responsible for what he does or does not keep track of. I think you should stop doing time management for him, as he isn't a part of your household anymore. As long as you continue to take care of his schedule problems, he will feel free to let them be your responsibility. The casual hookup is a red herring. It doesn't matter what you are planning to do. Your ex needs to step up and take responsibility for his own schedule. OP says, thanks. That's pretty much what my sister said too. She's doing her own divorce, and oddly enough, our ex-husbands have the same name. I think I'll be steering clear of men with that name in the future, just to be safe, lol. This was a hard lesson for me to learn, OP. My ex-husband gets our daughter 1 day a week. I do 90% of the parenting, and I had to learn to stop helping him with reminders. He's a grown-ass man. He can buy a calendar or a whiteboard, or hell, make a note on his phone. Doing the mental labor for a man that I wasn't married to anymore was exhausting me. You deserve time for yourself. You can hook up, sleep, go on a day trip, shop, or do whatever you want to do. The reason doesn't matter. It is okay to take care of yourself. OP says, I vent to people about how I feel like I still have to act like his mother. He doesn't remember or keep track of anything. This time, it would only be me who would lose out on something, but ever since we split up, I've been giving him constant reminders about the kids' activities or things they want to do. And I know it isn't my responsibility, but if I don't, the kids will miss out on things they want to do. Like, my daughter has dance class, which I pay for, and I don't want her to miss it because her father is irresponsible. That specifically isn't currently a problem, but when he does all the things that he has to do, some of her classes will be on his time. So how do I stop managing his schedule without letting my kids miss things that are important to them? Mrs. Unruly Farm says, I feel this. I don't have an answer, except to say that every now and then I put myself first, and no one has perished from it. No one hates me. They are still just regular teenagers who have lame parents. Lame for a variety of real and unreal teen BS. I say sorry when I mess up. It's the best I can do. Difficult situation, that one, and I am not a marriage counselor, so I'm not going to get into that. But in this situation, you're not the arsehole for not wanting to cancel this plan. It was his responsibility to do it. It is his fault that he didn't take this time off work. You should not be the one bearing the responsibility once again when you always do. By the sounds of it, this is court-mandated time for him to have the kids. It is entirely on him to fix this. You give him the kids. He can be the one to take them to grandma. He can be the one to fix this. It's entirely out of your hands. Don't let him continue to push his responsibilities onto you. You will turn yourself into ash, setting yourself on fire for this man. That's not a good idea. And now, onto the update. I'm not cancelling. I'm keeping my plans. He can handle his parental responsibilities on his parental time. Since I made up my mind and I'm not debating with myself, I'm understanding exactly why I was feeling so guilty. My first thought was, I have plans. Fuck him. It's his time and his responsibility. Let him figure it out. And I felt like my first thought should have been, oh yay, I get to have more time with my kids. And I felt guilty because I don't want to spend time with them this weekend. I want to be away from them. And it feels wrong to want a break from being a mom, but it's not. It doesn't mean that I love them any less if I really don't want to be with them sometimes. Funny that him being such a moron is making me do this much self-reflection. And maybe I've been through too much therapy because I'm pretty much my own therapist in my head. And I'm 99% sure that when I talk about this in therapy, she's gonna say this exact same shit that I'm saying to myself. And thank you to everyone who commented. I was letting the mum guilt and the idea of being the perfect, loving mum control me. And I'm admitting something else to myself too. I want him to fulfill all of the requirements. I want him to fix his shit and become a good dad. I don't want to have full custody. I want 50-50, and I don't want it solely because it would be the best thing for the kids. I want it because I want some time to myself. I want a break. I'm tired. I'm with my kids or at work almost 100% of the time. The little time I do have, every other weekend after work and 1 day a week during school hours, I'm cleaning the house and running errands. I can't remember the last time that I had time just for me. I can't remember the last time that I engaged in any of my hobbies or did something that benefited only me. I need a break, and that's okay. It doesn't make me a shit mom. It doesn't mean that I don't love my kids enough, and I'm not just a mom. I'm a person, and I have wants that don't revolve around my kids, and there is nothing wrong with that. Thanks for attending my therapy session with myself. I'm gonna go do the dishes and clean the litter box and sweep the floor and avoid looking directly at the large pile of clean laundry that needs to be folded, and then go to bed. And I'm very excited for my weekend off, and I'm very excited to be with this guy. He's seriously hot. Like, I'd give him a 9.5. Definitely the best looking guy that I've ever been with, and he's also someone that I enjoy talking to. But no feelings. I am not ready to do that shit again, and I'm not sure I ever will be. In the comments, Frangipani Hawaii says, being a mother is only one part of who you are. Hell yeah! Also, don't put too much pressure on the actual event, just go in and have fun. Take the day to treat yourself and go in relaxed. I'm not cancelling, I'm keeping my plans. I totally thought this was going to be about Disney, Hulu, or ABC. I'm proud of you, OP. I'm so happy that you are putting yourself first. And yeah, it doesn't matter what the plan was. You have that goddamn right to have your time alone after so much time spent making sure everyone else's needs are met. You do deserve that for yourself. You should not give in to weaponized incompetence. You should be living your life for yourself and having all the time off that he gets to have for himself all the time. He gets to be a part-time parent and no one bats an eye. Hell nah, don't put up with that. Good luck going forward, OP. I hope you get your 50-50 custody that you're pushing for. And I hope you have a fun weekend. Sounds like a good time. Thanks for the story and thanks for the update. Our next post is by user Lamnesia, and it's titled, My best friend just told me that she's in love with me. I am married to a man and together 14 years. Our relationship has been on the rocks for a few years. I've been questioning my sexuality. I've always been bi, but have been discussing with my therapist and have confided in my husband and friends I may just be a lesbian. My last therapy session, I had my husband join, and I told him that I think I'm lesbian. He said that everyone has to make sacrifices, and that if I can give him a chance to be the best possible version of himself before deciding that it's not him and that I really am just a lesbian, that would be ideal, and I agreed because I feel that I owe him this. Obviously, I care for him deeply, and he is my family. I have not discussed any of this with my best friend, since she's friends with us both. She knew him first. We have a strict boundary that we don't discuss my marriage like I would with my other friends. My best friend, who is a lesbian, just cancelled a trip that we had planned all year. She told me she felt uncomfortable, and later that night, after my husband sent her a message out of his own free will saying he thinks that she's making a mistake of losing her best friend, she told me that she is in love with me. I was absolutely speechless. She asked for nothing in return. I am absolutely devastated. I adore her. I have a stable life in another state from her, and we only get a visit in person a couple of times a year. I've secretly been denying my own same feelings about her for months. The thought of losing her makes me want to vomit. She is my soulmate. I never in a million years thought this would happen. I always thought that I would never have to face these feelings because it's immoral to have them. The fact that I developed them and have such a deep connection with her at all, I was willing to live on the rest of my life as her best friend, and now that she confessed this, I feel like there's no good option. If I blow up my life, there is no way she would ever be able to be satisfied logically, because even though it's been a decade of my marriage being on its last string, she will probably always feel like she caused it. She will feel like a bad person. she will feel like I'm a bad person. On a second thought, the thought of losing her seems impossible. I can't sleep, I'm scrambling to find out what to say. I asked for time to process and asked if I could reach out again, and she said yes. I am this close to telling my husband that there is no life I can imagine without her in it and jumping on a plane to see her. To be clear, we have never been intimate, flirtatious, or crossed lines in any ways. I met her through my husband, and we instantly clicked like I've never experienced in my life. Neither of us have been in this situation before. In your opinion, is there a situation where we live happily ever after? Do I have to let her go and think about her for the rest of my life? Would you blow up your life and get a flight to go see her? I'm so sorry, and I hope this isn't triggering. I know that lesbians have a history with bi and lesbian questioning women, not choosing them, and seeing them as just a fling. This is not that. I am gutted and devastated. My husband is being an amazing support, while I have sobbed over her for the past 12 hours. I feel like absolute trash. In the comments, Hashi says, if I blow my life up, there is no way that she would ever be able to be satisfied logically, because even though it's been a decade of my marriage being on its last string, she will probably always feel like she caused it, she will feel like a bad person, she will feel like I'm a bad person. You're the only one who can decide what to do, but please respect her own choices. She is her own person, and she can decide what to do. Don't undermine her choices just because you think they will make her feel bad. She confessed to you. She must have thought that that's what's best in this situation. Please respect this, and don't make your decision based on an assumption that she'll regret her choice. OP says, thank you. You are right. She is an intelligent and emotionally mature woman. She would not have told me this for no reason. She was adamant that she has no intention to do anything about this and essentially is stepping away. My gut and my heart want to go get her. Hashi replies, this is a big decision to make, and I can't and won't tell you what to do. You should probably give yourself some time to calm down before making it as well. Not because you're making a mistake by wanting to go to her. I don't think that's a mistake, but so that you can make whatever decision you'll make with a clear head. As much as possible. I can only imagine how emotional this situation must be, and take full responsibility for it. It's a big thing. You owe this to yourself and to her. But I will also echo what the other commenter said. Someone you love loves you back. This is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Yes, it's also difficult in your situation, but it's not bad. OP replies, my next therapy session is on Friday. Should I wait until then and discuss with my therapist and have a clear decision, or should I make sure first off that it's even an option on her mind for me to choose her? Like ask if she would even want that. The first one, right? That's the right way. I don't want to do anything that would be disrespectful to her or the person that I'm married to. From the moment I met her, something in my mind told me this is my person. I would have lived the rest of my days without confessing this. Hashi replies, I can't say if you should, but if you want to wait until that and feel like it will help, then sure. There's probably no harm in doing this. Just don't leave her hanging for too long. I can imagine that she's dealing with emotions similarly intense to yours right now, especially since you have a strict boundary of not talking about your marriage, so she doesn't know that it wasn't going well for a long time. I can imagine that she thinks right now that she's going to lose you. And yeah, I don't think you should ask her if this is an option first. She loves you. She told you so. And she's already made her step. Imagine you ask her if she would potentially be willing to be with you, and then you decide against it. I don't know her, but I can say that if I were her, I would feel horrible having my hopes raised and then dashed like this. I will also say that regardless of what you decide, your husband probably deserves to be with somebody for whom he is not a second choice. Back up to the post, there's an update. First of all, thank you so much. I have found nothing but warmth and comfort in the lesbian subreddits, and you have all been extremely supportive and helpful. I told my friend that I felt the same. I told my husband this. It is over. He was upset and now bargaining. It's extremely painful to have to continue to tell him that this isn't a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Not only do I prefer women, I have feelings for my friend. Even without my sexuality in question, we haven't been happy. We have had happy moments, of course, and we love and care for each other, but I know this is not for me and not for him. I want nothing but to be friends and amicable. I want all the best for him. I will split everything with him. He can have our babies. I want him to have the best life in the world. I just know that it's not with me. As for my friend, we aren't running off together. We have therapists and lives and successful careers. She doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and that makes this process just a bit easier, albeit it is excruciating. I know in my heart that I did the right thing, the right way, and that this could be the beginning of the rest of my life. Thank you again. And now, onto the latest update. A year ago, I made this post here. This past Saturday, I proposed, and she said yes. This has been the happiest year of my life. Thank you everyone here for your support that day a year ago. Life is amazing. And I'll round this one up with a little bit of my thoughts on this one, I guess. I'm glad OP got a lot of different suggestions, pieces of advice, maybe even some criticisms on that post that she put up, because there are so many realities where situations like this do not go the way that you hope they do. And I have seen relationships where the wife does come out as lesbian or the husband comes out as gay, and it completely destroys the partner that is very much blindsided by that happening. I'm very glad that in this situation it did not destroy the family, it did not tear someone's life apart, that the marriage itself was on the rocks for a long time, and it seems like both of them were aware of that. The sexuality of OP being called into question did not influence that. It seems like the ship was sinking regardless, and this was just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's unfortunate, yes, but I think that OP, the best friend, and even the husband seemed to have handled this in a very graceful way that didn't tear anyone's life apart. I'm very glad that OP made the best choice for herself in this situation, and that she is now engaged to someone that she is putting first, because I do think that if she stayed in that marriage, that would have been very unkind to her partner. Being with someone who you put first, but they will always put you second, cannot be a good feeling, especially if he were to cop onto that someday. Thank you for the story, and thank you for the update, OP. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.